You are listening to the I Wish I Knew Stuff podcast with Mark and Nalo. They test things like news, culture, and other dumb stuff that they just wish they knew about. Subscribe to the channel and thanks for listening.
Welcome back to the IWIX podcast. I Wish I Knew Stuff is what IWIX stands for. I don't know if I have to keep saying that over and over again because I think people will figure it out. But either way, it really is true. I do wish I knew things because I don't know very much. And Mark, right along with me, we explore things. And in this last episode, we explored how to fake your own death, which is kind of ridiculous. There's so many things out there that are encouraging people to do this. You can buy kits. There's how-to wikis, things like that out there. It's actually quite disturbing. The reasons why people actually do this are super selfish, and I don't recommend it at all. The only results are that people are going to be very sad and upset and unhappy, and I can't imagine that it really turns out well for anybody truly in the end. Mark and I kind of put two and two together. Since there's a bunch of missing people in the world and a bunch of stolen identities, we're betting that there's a percentage of those that is actually success stories when it comes to faking your own death and assuming a different identity. How crazy is that? It just really is insane. Obviously, no one should ever do this, and we were only curious of, what the different ins and outs were of faking your own death, because people actually do this kind of thing. So it's insane and really dumb and stupid. Don't ever do it. It is basically the result that came from us researching the podcast. And again, it puts us closer and closer to being on the FBI watch list, which, of course, I guess, whatever. But we learned some things nevertheless. In this next episode, Mark is absent from this one. I brought over two of my really, really good friends, Nate Sanders and Brandon Nance, and we really kind of wanted to reminisce about some of the amazing things that when we were kids and in the 90s and growing up in the 90s, different experiences we had there. Man, there's some really, really nerdy things that we talk about in this episode, and I love it. So here goes. Check it out. Okay, well, I hit record, but make sure if your mouth is touching, at least the condenser mics, if your mouth is touching it, you're probably too loud. You can, like a normal...
Just eat it.
Yeah, just like put your mouth kind of on it. Yeah. Cool.
Dope. All
right, well, welcome to the Mark and Nalo podcast. This is Nalo again, and no Mark. Yeah, that's right. Mark is gone again, but he's got other responsibilities and things like sleeping and playing Xbox. I'm here with two of my other friends, though, Nate and Brandon. They're joining me here on the podcast. Say hi, dudes.
What's up? This is Nate.
Hello, this is
Nate and Brandon. We're going to just reminisce and talk about the 90s today and how much better the 90s were than I don't know, what do you call this now?
The millennium. I like the 10s. I don't think anybody else would know what we're talking about if we say that.
Yeah, I mean, if you say, remember the music in the 10s?
Yeah. People are going to be like, the what?
Yeah.
So then,
remember the lack of...
In a couple years, it'll be the 20s? I guess the 20s all over again?
Yeah.
Ooh, the Roaring 20s.
Yeah, but they wouldn't call them the Roaring 20s. They're going to be like because everything's going to be like electric cars.
The Quiet 20s.
The Quiet 20s.
The Green Initiative 20s.
The Green 20s.
Yeah.
Sounds wrong for some reason.
Either way, the 1990s were way better than times are now, yes. And we're going to prove it to you by reminiscing with some of the things that we've done. If you're too young to remember the 90s, then, I don't know, tune out, I guess.
Learn what you missed.
Yeah. Remember the 2000s, as lame as they were comparatively to the 90s. And if you're too old to remember the 90s, then you were dead in the 80s.
Yeah, that. Stick that in your pipe and smoke it.
Yeah, seriously.
So I did have a thought.
Yeah, go ahead.
So like, we're in our 30s and we love the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember thinking when I'd talk to people who were like in their 40s and they'd talk about how great the 80s were.
Yeah.
I was like, living the now. But here I am loving the 90s.
Yeah.
Do you think it's like people just love whatever's nostalgic to them?
Yeah.
Or were the 90s truly the best decade?
I think people would still argue that maybe like the 50s were the best decade because people really thought that it was the best that life could ever be in the 50s. Like the way they made cars, the way, just life was great. Everything that could be invented was invented. That was their mindset in the 50s. So I think if you experience the 50s, you would still think the 50s are the best, even the 90s.
The most amount of change.
Yeah. Yeah, so we went through the 90s, and I still think that's...
I definitely think so.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, there were so many cool things in the 90s, just like so many cool things. And I'm so sad for people that were born in 1999.
Oh, yeah.
Because they didn't get to experience any of it.
Even if they were born in like 96 and later, because they really... I mean, they don't remember what happened in the first 4 years of life, so they still missed it.
Maybe
So
like
true.
98 and 99. Even then, they couldn't really.
I mean, probably
Be in
not
bed.
enough to feel all warm and fuzzy and nostalgic over.
Yeah, I see kids like... I mean, I say kids, but like people that are maybe in their early 20s right now, and they're like, yeah, 90s. I listen to 90s music. The 90s were sick. And it's like, okay, you were one in 1998.
Go home.
Yeah, no, you don't remember the 90s like we remember.
Jinkos.
Dude, yes, the clothes in general, like the clothes, Jinkos. I couldn't really afford Jinkos most of the time, so I had Free World jeans.
Free World was good stuff. I
'Cause
had a couple
Zoomies.
pairs of Jinkos. But yeah, Zoomies,
Yeah,
that was like their brand to get into that market, I think.
for sure. Yeah, Zoomies is just a different store than it was.
I wonder what made people so attracted to those giant pockets.
I don't know. They were so much different than everybody else. That's what it was?
Yeah. I remember I had a pair of Jinkos that were called the Big Rigs. And-
Big Rigs.
Yeah, Big Rigs. And I had a chain wallet, and the chain would just hang the wallet in the pocket because the pocket was so big.
You didn't have a long enough chain?
Yeah, it like didn't touch the bottom of the pocket.
So
It just
hooked to
hung.
your belt loop and then like
And then
hung
just hung
down,
down.
inside.
Yeah,
Just floating around in the pocket.
dangled.
Sweet.
I never did have a pair of Jinkos. I always wanted a pair, but I could never get.
Yeah, like the nice Jinko jeans, I never bought a pair because, I don't know, I just couldn't afford them. And my parents thought they were stupid, too.
Yep.
But I had a pair of Jinko shorts, and they were just like, they reminded me of like the 18-inch Dickies,
Oh yeah, yeah.
So, but the pockets were really long still. So they were shorts, and I think that's how I got away with it, is because they're shorts and they didn't cover my shoes like I don't know, my parents thought all the druggies wore the,
Oh yeah,
Oh, Jinkos.
druggies and shoplifters, so they could hide stuff in their giant jeans.
Oh, yeah, of course.
That's where the pockets came from. That's why they like the big pockets. You can fit a lot of candy bars in
You
there.
can steal an entire laptop in your back pocket. Wait, did they have laptops in the 90s?
Yeah, but they were like the size
Too big
of
for the
a
Jinko
TV.
pockets?
Yeah, barely.
They're like 4 inches thick.
Yeah.
You know what's
They're
crazy
briefcases.
is Jinko actually just went out of business like a month ago.
Really?
Yeah, because I follow them on Facebook for nostalgic sake, and they were still trying to make like the stupid wide leg pants and still trying to get people to be into them.
That's funny. You'd think that they would like evolve with some of the styles and still be Jinko, but have just slightly awkward, cool,
Yeah.
style that kind of matched what things are.
When I looked at their website, even their skinniest pair of jeans was still like pretty big to today's standards.
Yeah, it'd be kind of awkward to be like, yeah, I bought a pair of Jinko skinny jeans.
Yeah,
And now they're the size of my normal pair of Dickies that I wear.
Yeah.
Jinko skinny jeans is like an oxymoron.
Wow, those are nice yoga pants. What brand are they? Jinko. You doubt it.
False.
It's for real. Dude, what about do you guys have like Stussy shirts? Was that a thing?
I remember them,
Was
but
like the preppy kids kind of wore those.
yeah, I remember them, but I never had them. Was it Stussy or Stussy?
I could never even read the logo. And it was just like, bunch of scribble.
Speaking of messy logos,
Yeah.
Massimo, was the bomb.
Yeah, I agree. Because it was like, I don't know, I hung out with skateboarders and BMXers and kids that smoked weed. I never did. But they wore like Massimo stuff and wore Jinko jeans and stuff, but none of my friends ever had this stuff.
Yeah, that was kind of like the
preppy kids version of Massimo.
The Abercrombie of the 90s.
Abercrombie. Yeah, dude, that's when they had like the risque mags, like their catalogs had like naked people in.
How do you advertise clothes with naked people?
That they were just laying on the floor, I guess. I mean, the clothes were.
Oh.
This is what happens when you buy our clothing.
Yeah.
They don't even stay on your body. Give us
and the
thousands of
magazines
dollars.
or the catalogs would smell like their cologne. Like you knew that somebody had one in their backpack because it smelled like the Abercrombie cologne.
Mhm.
Like that's ridiculous. They got in trouble or something. I don't know. Maybe this is just rumors from the 90s, when you're in middle school but I'm pretty sure Abercrombie got in trouble for like putting like additives in their thing to like attract people to their cologne, like things that weren't legal.
Huh.
But I don't
Like
know. That
meth.
could be just one of those things you hear in middle school, like, the lunch lady has AIDS, or something. It's like, it's just a random story, I guess.
I mean, if it's true, I want to get myself some of that 90s Abercrombie.
Get good stuff.
Yeah, right? I mean, those bottles from the 90s Abercrombie cologne probably go for $1 million. What are you trying to... Are you breaking stuff?
I nudged something.
All right. That's cool. Let's see if I got any other... I made some notes here. Soap shoes.
Dude, I loved my soap shoes.
Yeah, tell me about those.
Awesome. I didn't have the ones that had the slits in the center, though. Like the later ones, they had the slit in the side.
Okay,
arch
so
your
it kind of
foot.
formed a T on the bottom?
Yeah, like the big giant puck or whatever in the center. In the
So you
sole.
could grind two different directions.
Yep, so you could do like sideways, whatever that's called. You could do your foot like straight down.
I remember...
Did they have like a hard toe?
No, they were just like a normal skater shoe, but they had the super gnarly, like slick, whatever plastic, and you could replace them.
Nice.
They were awesome.
I
That
remember
sounds so cool.
watching... There was a video up at like the local sports store, and it was in the soap shoe section, and it showed these guys doing soap shoe tricks, but it just like it doesn't translate to video the way the other extreme sports does, because they like run up at it, grind, and then just land on their feet and then walk away. Like you're not rolling, it's not smooth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, like their friends were waiting down there, like giving them high fives, and then they would walk home.
Yeah, yeah.
Then they would go get on their BMX bike and ride their bike home.
Yeah, I can't do BMX tricks, but I rode it to the rail.
Ride your BMX bike to the soap shoe spot.
Yeah, man, what a bunch of losers. Dude, wait, which is worse, Heelys or soap shoes?
Dude, Heely soap shoes would be awesome.
Dude, $1 million idea right there.
$1 million idea.
I mean, I've
Seriously.
seen kids at the skate park trying to ride Heelys around like it's cool. So if you stick some grind plates on those, then they can actually throw down a trick.
Yeah, they're like rolling up to the rail, and you're like, oh, come on, try. And then they like, do a grind, stick down the 10 stair.
Can you imagine
Yeah.
though when they land? You know they're gonna face plant. Like you're not gonna land on your heels.
well, that ups the cool factor from your soap shoes. Instead of just like, boom, kid, I'm going to go walk home. You land on your feet, and you get to roll away from it.
That's true.
And then you can still walk home, but you rolled away from your trick.
I can't see it happening. Like, I can't see it being successful. Coming off the rail, you land on your toes, you fall on your face. You land on your heels, you fall on the back of your head.
But if you
That's
like
true.
run out of it, like how
Yeah.
you get yourself going normally on a pair of Heelys,
Yeah.
you just land it and then you roll away.
It's probably definitely a lawsuit. So you have to like put a waiver in each box. Totally worth it though.
That's so weird to think about. Like, I wonder, the makers of Heelys, is it just kind of like a, ride at your own risk kind of thing? Or how do you get past that kind of stuff? That's
I
so
don't remember
weird.
if there was a waiver or like a we are not responsible when you crack your head open because
Yeah,
you're an
when you
idiot.
die from using our product, that sucks.
Don't
Shouldn't have done it.
We'll watch the video and applaud.
Yeah. The disclaimers at the bottom of the screen, professional Heely people only. Like, was there actually professional Heelys? Professional Heely riders?
Was there a professional soap shoe team?
There must have been, otherwise the disclaimer wouldn't work, right? Stunts performed by professionals. It's like, yeah, exactly. Don't attempt at home, people, because these were done by professional Healy
In a
owners.
closed environment.
Oh yeah, sure, yeah, with Target in the background.
Yeah.
We put out a couple of cones. Don't walk over here. We're filming. It's closed. Sidewalk closed.
What's
That
that?
always cracked me up. Sidewalk closed? Oh, really? I'm going to walk around the sign.
Nice try. And then you step into an abyss.
Yeah. Told you it was closed.
You step in the wet cement and like, oh, that's why that sign was there.
Should have coned it off better.
Just ruined my Heelys.
I can't grind with my soap shoes
My
anymore.
soap shoes weigh 20 pounds apiece now.
They ain't soap shoes. They're concrete shoes now. Dang it.
How am I supposed to grind on concrete when I got concrete on my shoes?
Mama, I need new soap shoes, Mom.
Was it the 90s where people started cutting thumb holes in their sweatshirts?
Yeah. Yep, I think so. The grunge era. Pretty
Yeah.
much, I think that's what brought that out. For
That was
sure.
like a 90s clothing trend,
That was like end of the 90s, wasn't it?
along with denim jean jacket vests.
Oh, yeah. That was definitely a carryover from the 80s. It had to have been. I mean,
It died out and came back hard.
yeah, for sure. Because then, they weren't just nice jean jackets. They were like jean jackets with holes in them.
That's right.
Abercrombie of jean jackets.
Oh, well, jeans with holes in them. That was like a late 80s into the 90s thing.
Sure,
Mhm.
yeah, totally. And flannels with that, too.
Oh, yeah.
Flannels
Flannel
were-
is still cool.
It is. Flannel should never and will never go out of style.
Nope.
I mean, I'm wearing a flannel right now.
Lumberjack for life.
Faux show.
I mean, I don't know much about women's fashion, but I feel like women in the 90s were all just trying to look like Rachel from Friends.
I agree. Yeah, like the Rachel haircut, for sure.
Yeah.
Every girl talked about it, and they want.
Yeah. Yeah.
That, or, I mean, they wanted to be like, I feel like it was either Rachel from Friends, Britney Spears, or
Hillary.
I think she was too young. Maybe Madonna? No.
Christina Aguilera.
Yeah, or Brandy.
Cher. They all wanted to be like Cher.
Yeah, the like 30-year-olds.
Dude, Brett would. You know that he picked up the puka shell necklace trend in the 90s.
Dude, I was all about puka too.
Yeah.
Me and Brett, we were puka buddies.
Yeah, but the
Dude.
difference is you let it go with the 90s. Brett carried that thing all the way to like 2012.
This
He
is
really
true.
did.
And it
Yeah.
was the multi-tone.
We had to have an intervention.
Snuck up behind him one night and cut it off.
Yeah. Sorry, Brett. You can't do that anymore.
Gotta die. Joke was on us. It was the steel braided band in the center.
Yeah, it was either that or his lip ring, but we had to we had to get rid of the puka shell necklace.
I had a hemp necklace that I wore forever.
Dude,
And the hemp bracelets and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like I paid probably a total of $50 over the years in the 90s for people to make me hemp stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because then I'd go home and my dad would be like, "What is that stupid crap you're wearing? Is that marijuana thread?" And then he'd throw it in the garbage. I don't want you wearing that. It represents, I just want to be cool. Like I'm not smoking weed, Dad. I promise. I'm just wearing it.
Do you remember if you got it wet, it would just stink?
Oh yeah, it just wouldn't dry for days.
Yeah.
It could be
Dude.
the hottest day out. 99 degrees today. Your necklace still wet.
Yeah, if you shower with that hemp necklace on, it's still wet.
Yeah, you don't
Oh,
take
yeah.
them off to go swimming.
No.
You just never take them off.
No.
You make them around your neck. You
That's
don't make a
right.
knot on the end.
Right, yeah, you sewed that thing on. You got to cut them off.
Oh yeah, dude. All the ones that I get, I make them like straight chokers, and the thicker the better. Like the biggest one I had was like an inch thick, and the beads on it were the size of.
Dude, you still wore them for like the first 2 years that I knew you.
That's true.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, I'm all about that.
Dude, like I said, hemp-
Start it up again. What's stopping you?
Done. I have hemp at my house.
You don't have to impress anybody. Just go back to your ways.
I got a wife.
Yeah.
She's happy. She loves me. She thinks I'm cute.
Yeah, and
So
at
there
this
you go.
point, she's just going to be like, "Why are you doing that?" And you'd be like, I'm just being me, okay? And then she'll be like, "Oh gosh, whatever."
This will die out too.
Uh-huh.
Just another car.
Dude, hemp was the paracord of the 90s.
It really was, yeah. Paracord. Somebody should make a paracord hemp and hemp combo
Ooh.
necklace or bracelet.
Dude.
The joining of the generations.
Hemp is like a pretty versatile thing. I
Mhm.
mean, they make lotion out of it. I mean, you can do pretty much anything with it. It's a pretty strong material.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe they should just make hemp paracord.
Yeah.
Hempicord.
Hempicord.
Parahemp.
Yeah, there you go.
Parahemp. Hempicord.
Legal only in Washington and Colorado.
But don't smoke it.
Nope.
It doesn't work.
So I didn't have hemp bracelets, but I had slap bracelets.
Oh, yeah.
Slap ones, and I'd get them taken away all the time.
Mm-hmm. My friends would always steal mine.
Yeah.
That was like one of those things, like, what was the point of it? You're like, you flatten it out, slap it on your wrist. That
Yeah.
was about it?
Annoying.
Yeah, I guess.
Dude, did you guys ever have like a bead kit? Like little beads where you would put them on the sewing needle and
Like
make...
a bedazzler.
Yeah, but it was
To make like
It
beaded
sounds-
jewelry out of
yeah,
it.
it sounds really girly, but I mean
really girly.
Dude, I had that thing. I made so many beaded
Oh.
like bracelets and
Were they
necklaces.
like tiny little cylinders?
Yeah.
Okay, I remember now. Yeah,
I made
my
them
sister
for
had some of
girls
those.
all the time.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I made you this. Want to go out?
Want to go to the mall? My mom will give us a ride.
Pretty much, yes. You want to go see Jurassic Park? It just came out today. I'm finally old enough to see it.
I remember those, like, what they make keychains out of now, like those little round metal balls that, like, clip together. I don't remember what they're called.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. Like, that was my thing, just having super, super, super long. I had one that was, like, 15 feet long, and I'd wrap it around my wrist.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
so
okay.
whenever I'd like a girl, I'd give her a piece of my little bracelet.
That's
It's
funny.
like we've moved on in our relationship. Here's a piece of my bracelet. I love you.
See, I don't think kids do that sort of cheesy stuff anymore, and that's the
No.
problem with today's world.
Yeah,
you
like
send-
it went from Letterman jackets to here's a piece of my rusty metal bracelet.
Yeah, now kids just send nudes.
Yeah.
It's so stupid.
Please send nudes.
It's so stupid. Frickin' Snapchat.
Snapchat.
That's one part of what made the 90s so great is that we didn't have stupid crap like that. I mean, you know what we did? We folded like the stupid little pyramid thing,
Do you
and-
like me? Pick
Yeah.
a number.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then you spelled out their name as like 14 letters because, they were an exchange student, I guess. But
That's who you're gonna date, Emily. Oh my god.
yeah, you're gonna have 14 kids. It's great. You're gonna live in a brick house. And,
It's funny now that like parents, they have to get their middle schooler a cell phone. They say, well, they need it.
yeah.
I didn't have a cell phone until I was like 18 years old,
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
and I was out all the time.
Mhm.
Totally.
It took 35 cents with you just to pay phone.
I just
Yeah.
rode to my friend's house and knocked on the door. If they weren't home, I rode back to my house. Went
Yeah.
and played Legos.
Sure. Ate dinner at your friend's house.
Mhm.
Then you come home and where were you? I was at Johnny's house and we had chili. Yeah, then your parents believe you and they're like, okay, get in your room.
I think my mom got her first cell phone at like the end of the 90s pretty
Mhm.
much.
Yeah.
Big old Nokia.
Yeah, with the like interchangeable
Oh
faces.
yeah,
on
totally.
it.
I had a blue one, a red
And
one, black
We had a
one.
pink one. Yeah.
With the smooth face, the shiny. Was it like
Ours was like a
glossy?
matte. It was like a matte
Okay.
finish.
I remember then, like, my mom saying that her cell phone plan was 80 minutes.
Yeah.
I hardly ever talk on my phone now, and I still probably go for that.
I agree. Yeah.
And
And
still-
text messaging wasn't a thing yet.
No.
Instant Messenger was though.
Yeah, yeah. You get on your
Like-
computer and do like Yahoo or
MSN.
something.
Oh, and that,
Yeah.
that brings
AOL.
up the AOL.
Mhm.
I mean,
AOL.
Dial up.
Oh,
Yeah. Dun-dun, dun-dun.
You've got mail.
Yeah, seriously, there was like movies based off of stuff like that. That you just seriously, if you stuck in the movie You Got Mail right now, it would be a comedy now
Mhm.
instead of just like a romantic comedy. It would be just only a comedy.
Yeah, because everything's so old in it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you're like, wow, I can't even pay attention to this cheesy love story because their computer is in the way. It's an IBM or those Apple computers that were they look like candy.
Yeah. You can see everything that's going on inside them. That was like their big deal.
Yeah, it had 64 megabytes of memory.
They had like the translucent blue color to them, where you could kind of see the inside.
The blue and like the pink, and
the files are in the computer.
the files are in the computer.
In the computer.
Was that 90s or was that was 1000?
Yeah, probably.
Whatever. We'll talk about it anyway.
Yeah.
Can't turn right. Turn left.
It's so good.
Breakdance fight.
Dude, okay, there's so much stuff. This is like going to be a 3-hour podcast if we talk about everything on here, but let's see here.
Adidas.
Yeah.
Like your notes of Gulf War.
Yeah, I did. I put Gulf War in here because that was a big part of the 90s for me. My dad, he went twice overseas to Saudi Arabia when he was in the Air Force.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he went in 1990. Then he was gone for 8 or 9 months, and then he went in 93 again. And so yeah, the Gulf War was like a big thing for the U.S. with the first George H.W.
I barely remember the news being on. I kind of remember that.
Friggin' Saddam Hussein doing crazy stuff and
Lighting oil wells on fire.
yeah, I mein they were doing a lot of stuff with Kuwait and threatening people, and it's a revolving door over there. Whoever's in power next is doing crazy things. But yeah, that was a big part of the thing. That's why I made the Gulf War note, because my dad was in the military for 23 years.
Dang.
Yeah, I lived on Air Force Base in the 90s. It was cray. And that's where dude, trust me, 90s, kids in the 90s that lived on Air Force Base, they were the worst. It's what people say about pastors' kids are the worst?
Yeah.
I mean, that's next to military kids. They're the worst, dude.
Troublesome?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they think they're the coolest people in the world, and they can do no wrong because their parents are in the military and they live on a base, so.
And then they, steal your pogs.
You know how many pog slammers that I had stolen? Hey, want to
Make
come
your
play
own.
pogs at my house? How come half of my slammers are missing now? My 8-ball slammer, dude. Where it at?
You didn't leave my sight the whole time I was there. How did you take all of my pogs?
Turn around, let me check your Jinko pockets. Your friggin' pockets, I can tell.
It's like Santa's Christmas bag in those pockets.
Why do you have such big pockets? So I can fit my pog tube in them.
Oh, dude, some of those pog tubes were so tall.
They were.
6-foot pog tubes, and half of those kids would have them filled, and I'm like, how? How do you have them filled? I had a short one, a foot long, and it was filled, and I thought that was cool.
So I don't even really remember how we used to play pogs.
Me neither. I know I had a little box with all my pogs in it.
Dude, I still have a box. The last time we were hanging out in the garage playing poker, I brought them out. I was like, dude, pogs.
Yeah. I remember that. Don't you stack them
slammers.
up and then you try and slam them or something?
Yeah, and they have to turn over. So you face them all down, you slam it on top, and whichever ones reveal the face, you get to keep those, and then whoever had the most at the end of the game, technically you would keep those pogs. So you would ante up these are the pogs that I'm going to get rid of today if you win.
So it was like kid poker.
Yeah, pretty much. So technically, instead of just buying a bunch of pogs with your parents' money, those tubes were for winner.
Oh.
This is how many pogs I win. I'm the champ.
And then people are like, how'd you win so many pogs? And you're because of this trusty old slammer. And
yeah, but it really was because of this trusty old credit card my parents had.
it's for emergencies only.
$5,000 limit. She'd maxed out.
Yeah,
Emergencies only, when I run out of pogs.
I just threw a fit and told my mom that I hate her, and then she just went and bought me pogs. It's a great plan. Works every time.
Gosh. Give me a cell phone or buy me more pogs.
Yeah. I want pogs. Give me pogs.
One more pogs. Give them to me.
That probably
You don't
was
even love
an
me.
exact impression of me when I was a kid, probably.
Why do you hate me so much?
I mean, if you weren't playing pogs, you're probably playing Magic the Gathering.
That's so true. Man, Magic the Gathering. And dude, I would have been in trouble having Magic cards. I know my parents didn't like the Magic cards, so but I had some. I mean, I had a stack, and I'd take them to school and we'd trade them or whatever.
I had some. I just feel like I remember it seemed like there was way too many rules for me to like really get into it.
Yeah,
I never had any. I'd always see the kids.
I didn't really either.
Like in high school and stuff, I'd always see the kids playing it in the hallways, and I would viciously mock them. But I never had any interest of playing it. But
Yeah.
Pokemon.
Oh, that's better.
Yeah, it's mythical creatures, not magic.
And then the Magic kids mocked you for Pokemon.
Yes.
I mean, that's why bullying was okay, because you bullied them for Magic. They bullied you back for Pokemon.
Everybody bullied
Yeah.
each other. No one
Everybody was a
offended.
bully. Yeah.
That's right.
It wasn't like, hey, you're being a jerk right now. It was like, yeah, well, your mom. And then everyone laughed.
Your mom
and
jokes.
you hugged.
Yo mama jokes, dude.
Yo, mama.
That came straight from the 90s.
Yeah,
Yo
there was a
mama.
whole
Yo, mama.
there was a whole MTV show called Yo,
Yo
Mama.
Mama.
Yeah.
Cash
all about
money.
people slamming each other.
Yeah. Based
Mostly-
on, like, all of those people on that show grew up in the 90s. I mean, that's why they're so good at Yo Mama jokes.
That's true.
Your mama's
Yeah.
so fat. But she wears a raincoat. She walk down the street. People be like, hey, taxi.
For reals.
Your mama's so fat, she broke the family tree.
That's super great.
What you got, Nate?
Dude, I don't know any Yo Mama jokes. I was always the butt end of those jokes. I was just crying in the corner.
I have no rebuttal. Shut up.
That's real.
She is.
Oh, that's so awesome. Yo Mama. I just start crying.
Oh, I remember. Well, there was like kind of like Magic, but there was a Star Wars card game that came out too.
Oh, yeah.
That was pretty big.
For sure. Yeah,
I
I think.
vaguely remember that one.
Oh.
Do you guys remember the Splash page?
Yeah.
You mean like the comic book store?
Yeah, is that still open?
Yeah, totally.
Is it still over there? It's over by TJ, or did they
Yeah.
move?
Oh, yeah.
I think they moved to a different storefront in that same shopping mini mall thing. But I
Yeah.
remember I went in like a couple times, like when I was kind of interested in comics, and I remember there being like tables set up of people playing
Yeah.
Magic and
Yeah, that's a weird
Star
feeling
Wars.
when you go in there, when you go into a place and people that are way nerdier than you are judging you. So you're like, oh,
Walking in
I'm
with your
out of my
Jinkos.
element.
Your Abercrombie.
Yes. It's like a team of nerds.
My, how
One-on-one,
the
I
tables
could
have
beat you on
turned.
any day. But now that there's a team of you, I can't do it.
and you're all hopped up on Magic.
Yeah.
And they're all casting spells at you and stuff, and you
Yeah.
just feel weird.
And you're just unsure if they're working or not, so you just run away. I don't know what that means.
I think I feel myself turning into a donkey. I'm gonna go home.
Yeah, I don't feel so good.
Get out before I use all my mana cards to cast the dragon spell.
Yes.
72 hit points.
How many hit points do I have? When am I dead? How does this work?
I can't see my meter. Where's my health meter? Like checking your body.
Well, my hand's still
man.
there.
So many things are coming to my head right now, like
Phone a friend.
Wolfenstein. I don't know why that came to my head right now.
Wolfenstein.
Yeah. You never played Wolfenstein?
No. Wait.
It's a computer game about the Nazis.
Oh, I've heard of it, but I've never played it.
It was kind of like Duke Nukem.
Okay.
But it was like, I don't know, a more historically accurate thing where you just fight Nazis.
Huh.
But it had the little guy's face on the bottom of the screen. So, like, the more... They never had a health bar. It was like the more uglier the guy got. That's how...
Weird.
Yeah.
Was that a first person shooter?
It was. Yep. And you ran around in, like, this maze of walls, found little computers and things like that and packages to pick up and gun.
I would say probably like mid to late 90s was definitely where first person shooter games like got their foothold and took off.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
Serious
Because
Sam?
Sega Genesis came out.
Did that have a first person shooter game?
Sonic.
Probably.
I do-
Contra.
I do remember like playing Sonic and stuff, and then
Yeah.
and then when a friend got the N64 when it was new,
Yeah.
playing GoldenEye, and you're like playing against each other.
Yeah, for sure. That was like seriously. It's still probably one of the best games in history.
Yeah,
Sure.
I mean, definitely. I don't think there wasn't really much for like one-on-one multiplayer games before that, was there?
No, I don't think so. I think that's what made it so revolutionary.
That like set the bar.
Yeah, 4 screen, or instead of just split screen, it was like 4.
Yeah. You're
Pretty crazy.
You're yelling at your friends. Stop looking at my screen to see where I'm at.
Yeah,
Screen looker. Your screen's right below mine. How am I not supposed to look at it?
I
my
forgot which one was
peripheral
mine. I
vision.
thought I was you for like 5 minutes.
It's amazing that we were able to play that game at all on those old bubble TVs.
Mm-hmm.
Split 4 ways.
Yeah.
And still remain
Super
friends.
low res.
You had like a 3.5 by 3.5 inch square.
Just sitting like 4 inches from the screen. Move your head. I can't see my screen.
I know. That's how my eyes went bad. I don't know what's wrong with you guys. Why your eyes didn't go bad. Dude, you could be like Odd Job in GoldenEye. You know, the little short guy.
Oh, short guy that nobody could hit.
Because that was part of the strategy, was to like aim your gun up the screen, so no matter what corner you ran around, you were aiming at somebody's head. But Odd Job was shorter. So, and then Jaws was taller. So,
yeah.
So I will admit something now.
yeah,
Confession time.
confession.
I never really played video games until the first Xbox game.
I
Really?
didn't
Yeah,
play
that's crazy.
much because I wasn't allowed to have them, so I'd play them at other people's house.
Even then, I didn't really play a whole lot. One of
Huh.
my buddies got a Sega or a PlayStation, and we played
Dude,
games.
Do you remember?
I was a gamer from a little kid.
Remember like when Tony Hawk Pro Skater first came out?
Yes.
That was pretty
PlayStation
awesome.
1. Yep.
Yep.
Had a great soundtrack, too.
Oh yeah.
Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2, I think, is like one of the greatest soundtracks ever for a video.
I still get that Psycho Vision song stuck in my head.
Yes. Oh, Twisted Metal.
Ooh,
yeah.
yeah.
That was the one with the cars with the guns and
Mhm.
stuff,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And you go
Totally.
pick
School
up power
bus.
ups and like shoot rockets across the map and stuff.
And they all had
Another
Rob
crazy
Zombie songs
multiplayer.
in them.
It was
Yeah.
like Mario Kart but on steroids.
Oh,
Like-
yeah.
On crack, bro.
Yeah. And steroids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like crack
Man.
words.
I think that's the only memories I have with my brother is playing Twisted Metal all the time. That's crazy. That's all we ever did. We played Sega Genesis NBA Jam Tournament Edition.
Oh, NBA Jam.
He's on fire.
Blitz.
And
Yeah.
I remember NBA Jam, you'd go up to dunk it and do like the big old fiery dunk thing.
Yeah. Full court dunks. You just put on the cheats.
Oh,
Hey, you remember you used to have the little cartridge? You have to put the cheat cartridge on and then put it in the Sega or the Nintendo.
Yeah.
And then you had a cheat book with you buy at Hastings
That's right.
and put the little cheat codes in. You had to actually look down the list of NBA Jam. And then it had a list of codes. You're like, I already knew all those. Dang it.
Dang it.
And
I
you
just
have-
wasted $15.
seriously. And then your parents come in. Hey, you get some cheat codes? I was like, yeah, totally. Got 'em. Yeah,
Totally did.
great.
Thanks for buying
Yeah,
me the
thanks.
book. Okay, goodbye. Son of a...
Yeah. Dude, big head mode and
Favorite
full court
cheats
dunk.
were in Tony Hawk for
Yes.
like zero gravity.
Oh yeah. Just you go up a ramp and kick flip for days.
Yeah.
Just in the air.
Tony-
And then finally come down.
Tony Hawk was the one.
900.
Tony Hawk was the one where you could put in a code for unlimited balance,
Mm-hmm.
where you could just grind for days or stall.
You put
for
your controller down and you're you find the edge of the the swimming pool bowl and you're just
Yeah, just keep going around.
I remember there was one. It was like on a
around
bridge.
corners like this.
There was a bridge that you had to grind a rail on,
Yeah.
and it was one of the achievement things or whatever for the longest grind, and you could just grind the whole thing all the way across the bridge. It was like a 9,000 something stupid.
Yeah, it's grind the Golden Gate Bridge.
Yeah. Okay. Put in the cheat code, hit the grind, just go walk away, have lunch, come back. You're halfway across.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Balanced perfectly in the green.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I didn't get enough points for the score goal. I'll just do a hand plant and go do something for a little while. Come back.
It's upside down for 30 minutes.
Your points just racking up on the screen.
Yeah, and then they get bigger. Because that's
Times
super
7, times 10, times 50.
And then it wouldn't go up after that. Come on, you can't times it any more than that.
Would have maxed out at
I think so. Yeah,
it was so good.
man. And now we have Player Unknown Battleground and stuff like that. I mean, they're sick games, but they're not as good as the 90s games.
They're overcomplicated.
Seriously, games should be and could be simple.
I have felt like the games are almost like, because they're getting so complicated, they're going a little backwards.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah, like how Minecraft became so popular.
Right.
Because it is such a simple game.
Yep.
I would like to see if they made like a Twisted Metal now, because it's been a while since the last one. If they made a car game like that where your whole point shoot people or shoot each other with your cars.
Like one of the last ones they made was Twisted Metal Black, and that was really cool. But it was like a horror game almost.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You know, it had the Rolling Stones, Paint It Black was the theme song. They made it all sound super creepy. And
I mean, Twisted Metal was always pretty dark with like the evil clown.
Was there a campaign to that game? I only ever played Versus Friends.
I think, wasn't the campaign for it like you just got to go destroy the other cars?
Yeah,
It wasn't like achieving levels. It was just survive against this guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and there was like a boss, you know. And some of them were like, this guy's a psycho murderer, and he's been to jail 18 times and 14 life sentences, and you got to fight him in a car with guns.
Because that makes sense.
Yeah.
How did he get out?
Ice cream truck.
What kind of society am I living in? He got out of prison?
I mean, at least when...
Who am I?
What's my rap sheet?
I'm a terrible human being.
It's like ICP's masterpiece is what that was.
Yeah, couldn't I just sell hot dogs over on the corner while watching this? Why do I have to be the guy in the car? Like, I must be a criminal too. That's Twisted Metal. I mean, it was crazy.
Yeah, they need to calm down with the games. I mean, even the Black Ops, like the zombie.
Yeah,
they went from super simple, just slaying zombies. Now there's so many freaking things that you have to do to be able to do pack-a-punch or get a gun or crap.
Totally.
It's like it doesn't make it any...
Oh, yeah. Dude, what about... There's so many... What about Will Smith as a rapper?
Dude. I wish
he was talking about music.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I didn't know... I really wasn't into a lot of the rap back then.
Yeah.
So I don't know much about it, but I did like Will Smith.
Yeah.
And my mom let me listen to him because he didn't cuss.
He didn't cuss, yeah.
Getting jiggy with it.
No joke. One of my best memories of listening to Will Smith rap is I was working in the garage and living on base. We had like this long apartment style garages. I was working in the garage, taking my bike apart, painting it with spray paint. So it takes a little time to take it all the way apart. I was painting my rims and everything, and I had my little Sony boombox that I bought with my own money.
Oh yeah,
that I saved up for my birthday, and I had the Will Smith Big Willie styles, and I put it in there, and I listened to it. You could hit the little repeat button because it's only like 45 minutes, so I'm in there for longer than that. And it would just start over again, and I would just be like, rapping along and working on my bike, and it was cool.
Did you do what I did and bought the whole Men in Black soundtrack for his song, and then you were really disappointed that the rest of it sucked?
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah, I did that.
Same thing with the well, yeah, Fast and Furious
Romeo and Juliet.
Romeo and Juliet with Leo.
Oh yeah,
that one? Yeah.
That was a clever remake.
The Wild Wild West. That's the album that was terrible. I like the Wild Wild West song. The rest is.
I remember. I mean, actually buying soundtracks back then. That was like
true
when there was no Spotify.
It was like it was like you were buying mix CDs in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I remember I had the Godzilla soundtrack that had like the funky remix of the Green Day song with like Godzilla roaring in the background.
Mm-hmm. That was cool. The Gone in 60 Seconds soundtrack.
I had that. I don't, like I said, I didn't know much about rap, but I know that he was called Puff Daddy back then. I don't know what he is now.
Oh, yeah.
P. Diddy.
Just Diddy, I think.
Is that what he is?
Yeah.
Who? I don't know what's happening right now.
Puff Daddy, you know
Puff Daddy?
Nope. P. Diddy?
Nope.
That's cool.
What? Okay.
Dude,
I listened to like worship music POD.
He made that
That's
song.
what you did in the 90s? Oh, I was a way worse kid than when it came to music, for sure.
Yep.
My parents were very strict. Actually, let me just tell you a quick story about buying the Dr. Dre Chronic 2001 album.
Oh, whoa. Dang.
Yeah. This is obviously late 90s because, I started high school in 1999. But I had a Volkswagen Beetle, and I had huge JL Audio subs. And everyone knew it because I had the JL Audio sticker that covered the whole back window of the the Beatles.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Like the Rob Me sticker.
Yeah, like, check out what I got. Just come and get it, you know? And so I bought the Dr. Dre Chronic 2001 album, and then I would listen to it super loud. And I had Nelly, you know, the Nelly Country Grammar album and stuff like that. And I'd just be blasting them. And then, you know, my subs were loud, so, you know, coming home, my dad could hear my subs going. So one day he just came out and he's like, what are you listening to? And I'm like, nothing, you know, just like the radio.
Right.
And he's like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, all right. And so I went inside and went down to my room or something like that. And then I hear my subs, like, you know, and I'm like, oh, crap. My dad was out. He went out into the garage and turned it on, and I came out there, and he was like breaking my CD when I went outside. He was just like,
oh my gosh.
He's like, well, that's enough of that. And I'm like, yep. And then I just went back inside. I was like, if that's all that's going to happen, sweet.
That would be intense. Like, you get out to the garage, and you're like, uh-oh, and then he just breaks it in front of you.
Yeah, he was just like, yeah. It was weird, because like I was in my room, and I'm like, that sounds like my subs. That sounds like my car. Someone is stealing my car, or I'm dead. One of the two. So I was really hoping someone was stealing the car. Yeah.
I remember that's when it was that late 90s that Korn and Limp Bizkit started getting going.
Yeah, totally. Yep,
they were getting
Chocolate
popular.
starfish, the hot dog flavored water.
Yeah, seriously. Oh man, Limp Bizkit.
I just loved his voice, man.
Yeah,
it's always like upper high falsetto.
That's a
Why,
pretty good
man?
impression.
I know.
Like it.
Someone to get this guy a red Fila cap.
Fila.
Yeah.
Oh,
Dude, like
I had Fila shoes.
I really liked 90s alternative rock.
Yeah, like Red Hot Chili Peppers type stuff, or
I wasn't a
Green
huge.
Day?
I mean, I did like Chili Peppers. I used to like Green Day. I don't really care for them much anymore.
yeah.
But like Bush and
Oh yeah, Bush,
Pearl Jam.
Pearl Jam. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I listened to all that stuff. Totally.
The
Offspring.
Cranberries. The Offspring. I
The
really liked
Offspring,
the Offspring.
for sure. Yeah. I don't know. I kind of liked some of the boy band stuff. I got to be honest. Like I bought Backstreet Boys and NSYNC, and I mean it really wasn't that uncool at the time, because they were like, I mean, every time TRL came on, you know, that it was top of the list and top of the thing.
Yeah, I mean, I went through a stint where I thought that they were cool, and then I realized they were kind of gay.
Dude, I mean, I was kind of like, if the girls were talking about it, I was into it, kind
yeah.
of thing. So,
All right.
like, you know, they liked, you know, 98 Degrees and
LFO.
you know, and Backstreet Boys, and now, I mean, JT is awesome, Timberlake. So he's
like the only one
Very
out of
successful.
all that's still like killing it.
yeah.
He's got a lot more going for him than just the mic, though.
Yeah, he's an amazing talent,
Mhm.
and he's a producer, and he writes music for a bunch of people.
But
So-
even if all he had was his personal music, he would still be pretty dang.
Yeah.
And I think he's the only one out of all of them out of
Yeah,
all the boy band
Still
guys.
doing anything.
He's a great
Yeah.
voice actor. I think he's an actually good actor, and he's really funny.
Mm-hmm.
Like him and Jimmy Fallon. Like I could watch them together all the time.
And he married Jessica Biel.
Score. Seriously. Yeah, totally. That man, Justin Timberlake. What the 90s looks like when you're successful.
Yeah.
Crazy Town. They were like the border of boy band and rock. I
That's
would
like
say.
a one-hit wonder with their Butterfly.
Power Man.
When worlds collide, man.
Static X.
Static X.
I used to turn Power Man 5000 up so loud that I thought I'd go deaf.
I used to do that with Static X with their
Seriously.
Machine CD.
Oh yeah.
So good.
Do you guys remember the kids that were obsessed with Marilyn Manson and everybody called them Mansonites?
Yeah, you know, and speaking of like chain wallets or wallet chains,
Yeah.
they had like the Mansonites or the kids that were into 9-inch nails too.
Oh yeah.
They had like the baby chain, you know, like the little plastic chains that babies chew on and stuff, and you hang like stuff.
Oh,
But they had like wallet chains made out of those.
I vaguely remember that.
I don't think I remember that
They
one.
just did all sorts of weird stuff, man. I remember one kid had the line shaved in his eyebrow.
Yeah.
Up and down lines.
Like Vanilla Ice?
Yeah, kind of like that.
But more like emo style?
Yeah. Do you remember I think those kids wore them too, but they had the big, like, cat in the hat hats?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I loved those.
I totally forgot about that until now.
It's so crazy. I bet you could Google 90s styles and you'd be like, yep, saw those kids. But then, like, if you look at them in retrospect, you're like, these people are freaks. Like, yeah, I used to have one of them hats. Oh, that jacket, I used to have that. But then, you would never admit that. I'm like,
No.
I was that kid.
Yeah, that is so awesome.
Mm-hmm.
With your hemp necklace that you had to cut off.
Dude,
Yeah, I wonder,
loved my hemp necklace. Don't even.
I wonder if you, like, found somebody who used to be a Mansonite and now they're just, like, a normal-looking human being, and you're just talking about...
Way to slip that in
Yeah.
there. They used to be Mansonite. Now they're normal.
But you just, like, start talking about the 90s, like, yeah, remember the Mansonites? No, I don't. Like, that would be so awkward for them.
Those guys were freaks.
Well, see you later.
Why'd you just roll your eyes? You're covering your face right now and blushing.
Or like along with the Jinko jeans, back to clothing, like the black giant pants with all the chains and straps and hooks and stuff on them.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
you know how much chrome was on those things for hooks and stuff?
Yeah.
Like, they had to weigh 50 pounds, some of those pants.
Yeah. And they were expensive.
Gosh.
And I wanted a pair so bad.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Those are the same kids that wore that stuff that I'm telling you. They had these freaking baby chains. Maybe it was just like that group in my school, but they all did it. They all had like wallet chains made out of those little pastel stupid chain links.
Dude, do you remember the zip-off cargo shorts?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Where they were pants, and then you were like, oh, I'm hot. I'll unzip my pant legs, and then
you
have
don't have
shorts.
anywhere to put the pant legs after you unzip
You put them in your cargo pockets.
and then you run around with like this giant tuber on the side.
Yeah.
So uncomfortable.
Dude, I had a pair that zipped off twice, so like you could turn them into capris or shorts.
Did you ever
buy the women's?
No,
Or?
I already knew the question. Did I ever make them into capris? No.
Did you ever
you
unzip
did.
like the knees part way just to like vent?
Yeah, I did that.
Yeah, me too.
for sure.
Yeah. Yep.
Then I busted zippers.
I had like the kind of jeans that had a stripe down the side.
I had a pair of Jinkos like that. They had checkerboard stripes down the sides with
Yeah.
like a skunk on the back.
Those were so cool.
They were.
Like, every one of my BMX friends had those kind of jeans.
I think I only wound up with them because they were on super sale.
Probably, yeah.
They were
me
only
too.
$50 instead of $185.
About that, yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
And then I made fun of people with Lucky jeans, and they were the same price.
Oh, you spent so much on your Luckies.
Idiot.
Stupid.
Dude, I just was looking at that list
Yeah.
of music. Third Eye Blind. Like,
Totally.
they came to town a little while ago, and I talked to somebody, and they've come out with new music, but nobody cares about it. So they pretty much just play their old, like, 7-song EP at all their shows to this day.
Do they always start off with Jumper? I wish you would step back from that ledge, my friend.
Either that or Semi-Charmed Life.
Yeah, pretty much.
Do, 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 do.
That gets so old.
It does.
Playing the same songs
Gosh,
all the time.
Can you imagine that guy on stage? Somebody's like, play Semi-Charmed Life. You're like, oh, I hate you.
He just starts to get super blunt about it.
Yeah.
I hate this song, and this song is dedicated to no one. I hate it. Then they just play the song.
What was? It makes me think of Sugar Ray.
Oh,
Like, 'cause that guy has to get tired of his own songs. Man, I'm still famous for after singing 3 cool songs. This sucks.
I will say,
So over this.
they had like one album, and it had one of their first big hits on it. I don't remember which one, but the other songs on the album were kind of heavy, like a little punkish.
On Sugar Ray?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Same with Smash Mouth.
Smash Mouth.
Smash Mouth.
Yeah, they had that song "Walking on the Sun," and like it was
Might as well be walking on the sun.
yeah, that one. But like when you listen to the rest of the album, it was like kind of heavy punk rocky type stuff.
So it's like they made the music they wanted, and then they made a radio song.
Yeah, I think so.
That's so stupid. But it worked, I guess.
I mean,
Sugar Ray, though, is making like $27,000 a year now touring. old, still has frosted tips.
He's the epitome of
tips.
stuck in the 90s.
Yeah. Can you imagine how he has to dye his hair now? He has to dye it back to brown and then frosted tips. Because he's got
dyes everything
frosted
below
roots
the
naturally.
tips.
Remember that guy? He had one song that was like always on the radio. Edwin McCain.
Edwin McCain. What song was that?
Oh my gosh, I can't think of what it's called.
Was that in my list here?
I don't think so. It was like a sappy love song. Greatest love suicide.
Edwin Collins, I have on here. A Girl Like You.
I'll Be, I think is what it was called. I'll Be.
I'll be your crying shoulder.
Oh, that song?
Yeah.
I'll be.
I didn't like it, but
Love
okay, I did for a
suicide.
while.
I enjoyed that song.
I saw that guy
Wasn't
doing
my
an
jam,
interview.
but-
Like, I mean, I must have seen this interview like 10 years ago or something.
Yeah.
And he was saying like he plays weddings now and plays that song.
Gosh. He's a wedding singer. That's not where you imagine your career going, I bet.
Yeah, no. Yeah. And he probably is like, people see him in the street and they're like, hey, sing me part of that song. He's like, I made like 12 other songs, right?
I hate that song. I'm disowning it. That is crazy. What about the presidency of the United States of America? I'm lump, or she's lump, she's lump, she's lump, she's in my head.
Yeah,
Or the Peaches song.
Yeah, I remember him. I didn't ever really get into him. Like them and Cake. I kind of put them in the same category.
Oh, yeah,
I
totally.
enjoyed Cake.
Yeah.
Short skirt jacket.
Long jacket.
It probably was that long.
It was about like that.
It
Yeah,
was definitely a long jacket. He's going the distance.
She's going for speed.
Yeah.
That guy was like, I can't sing. I can't play instruments. I got some friends that play instruments, and I really want to be the leader of a band. Cake.
Yeah. Dude,
just be
I
the
just had a
icing.
random thought. Like, we make fun of some of the rappers' names these days. Like, everybody's got Lil something, Little Nostril.
Yeah.
Or something, really stupid names like that. But the 90s bands had dumb names, too. Like Cake and Bush and Butthole Surfers.
Yeah. I never listened to those guys simply because of their name. It's like if they want to name themselves Butthole Surfers, their music can't be any better than their name.
I feel like,
can't
I mean,
be,
even
right?
though they did get, famous and
Sponge.
radio play and all that, but like they had to like kind of shoot themselves in the foot a little bit, because never once did I ever hear anybody say my favorite band is the Butthole Surfers. Like nobody can say that.
I mean, did people
Nobody's
say,
gonna
like,
admit to that.
hey, what's your favorite band? BHS? What's that stand for? I don't know. I don't
Honestly, I've
know.
never asked that question.
Like bands like the Crash Test Dummies or Orgy,
Oh,
What's
the Orgy song on?
Blue Monday, of course,
Oh, okay.
which was also a remake. That was a remake of a song.
Really?
And
Biscuit.
and it made them famous.
Huh.
So it's like their one-hit wonder was actually somebody else's song. So that sucks.
Do you remember that song Bittersweet Symphony?
Yes.
That was
The
a good one.
Verve
The
pipe?
Verve.
The Verve. Or
And
the
then there
Verve
were-
Pipe.
No, that was the Verve, and then there was Verve Pipe who had that song called The Freshman.
The Freshman, yeah.
I still like that song to this day. It was
I agree.
a well-written song.
I'm pretty sure it was like almost every school in the nation, it was the senior song.
Yeah, and like when you really read the lyrics, it is depressing as crap.
I agree. My graduation senior song was the stupid graduation day cheesy thing by
Orange Crush.
something dumb. It was like the most cliche thing that our school could have picked, and they did it. Like, this sucks. I was not proud of my class at that time.
I don't even remember anything about my graduation. I just
Did
didn't
you
care.
even do it?
Do you
Yeah.
remember? Do you remember middle school dances in Casey and JoJo?
Oh, yeah.
What was
No.
that song called?
I
I don't remember.
I can find out.
I didn't go to normal middle school, so we didn't have dances.
You didn't stand around to a Casey and JoJo
All my life.
all my life.
I've waited all my life. I don't know.
The climax just didn't.
Yeah.
Just petered out.
I've waited for someone like you. Something like that. It's something like Dude.
Mm.
music in the 90s. It seriously was better than music now. It just was.
Yeah.
There was actual talent there. It wasn't just any Joe Blow that could strum a guitar.
Yeah, think of like the genres. I mean, you had like boy band stuff that was excellent. I mean, really it was.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had alternative that was just off the heat.
Nice.
That's a terrible... okay, let me start over. They had rap.
Off the hook. Off
the rap
the
was
hook.
off the heezy. And the alternative was cool.
Dog.
Brah. That was cool, dude. Yeah, Snoop
Dizzy.
And then, of course, we listened to that music through, like, Discmans. And we didn't have, like, 1 trillion gigs on our phones.
Mm-hmm.
We had a Discman that played a CD.
And
Gosh,
a CD
the day
album.
that I got like the Discman with the unskippable memory or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Read the entire CD. It'd take 5 minutes to play the CD,
Right.
but then you could take the CD out and just be able to listen to the whole thing.
Sure. Yeah. You could be still listening to that CD while you changed to your other CD. Like, that was crazy.
yeah.
Because it would remember almost an entire song. It's crazy.
I remember, gosh, it must have been like 99. But I remember that the people had just started burning CDs.
Yeah.
And I would get burned CDs that are just pretty much blank on the top of them. And I would put them in the Discman and hold the button down with a paper clip so it thought that the lid was closed and press play. And then with a marker, I would draw like spirals on the CD.
Oh, yeah. That's super cool.
Yeah.
I remember doing that. I remember seeing at least my friends do that. Or getting, like, burned CDs with little spirals on them. That's pretty cool.
I'd always, like, misleadingly name because as I got older, I started more inappropriate things that my parents wouldn't approve of.
Sure, of
So in
course.
case they wanted to go through my album,
Yeah.
I'd, like, disguise the name of the CD and then have to remember, okay, number 4 of, like, Furbladurka is Slipknot and Korn. And then
Furbladurka.
and then number 4 of...
I was thinking, like, Brandon's Happy Mix, but no. Furbladurka.
I'm trying to remember another one one of my girlfriends made me. It was like that sound, but spelled out on the CD. Yeah.
You know that sound that, or you just, in parentheses, the sound R2-D2 makes.
Whistle, whistle, higher whistle, lower whistle, whistle.
Beep, beep. Yeah, that's super great. Yeah, dude, the 90s, seriously, so much better than the stupid 2010. We're almost in the 20s.
I know like the grunge was big in the 90s. I had a Nirvana CD, but I don't really like grunge, not gonna lie.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I think I'm on the same page. I like Foo Fighters 1,000 times better than I liked Nirvana.
Yeah.
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 I never
So-
understood why people worship Kurt Cobain.
It was like the revolutionizing the music. I don't think it was really that they were great. I think it was just they brought that style in, started a trend.
Right. I had heard a guy. It was actually the lead singer of Godsmack because
Yeah.
I used to really like them. But I was
Esther.
watching him. I think it was an interview or a DVD or something. He was saying how he kind of felt like grunge killed the rock scene because in like the 80s they were all into like pyro and crazy shows and stuff, and then grunge happened, and as he put it, it was something like, and then you got 5 guys jumping around in flannel t-shirts selling tickets for $100 a piece.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. It is. They kind of just messed things up, and I think that's part of what made them so popular. I mean, even bad publicity.
That's very true.
People hated them, and then so therefore people liked them. They had stupid hair, and they didn't wash their clothes or themselves. They sung about depressing, and then Kurt Cobain killed himself, and
they looked like lumberjacks.
yeah. I mean, it was just like
Disgusting lumberjacks.
disgusting, gross, skinny.
This chair is very squeaky hoppy.
It is. That chair, I'm totally going to spray some, WD on it or something next.
So
that's fine.
I was
Squeak
looking
away.
up phrases from the 90s.
Phrases, yeah.
Phrases.
And I was like, dang it, I still say a lot of these.
You're like, wait, that's
Like
not
what?
from the 90s. That's from right.
Like,
It's lit, fam.
Mm.
Dope.
I still call
Psych.
I still call people a fart knocker
You still say fart knocker?
every now and then.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
yeah.
I think I jokingly call my wife a fart knocker,
That's weird.
and I think I still say fly
Yeah.
and hella.
Hella. Yeah, that's
Hella
hella.
for sure.
I definitely
hella
don't
slush.
say home skillet.
Yeah, you do.
I do not.
I was like, wait a second, are you lying now? Home skillet?
Pre-cell phones, people had pagers.
Pagers, yeah.
I mean,
PDAs.
I don't know. I never had a pager.
Did
I lived
I?
during the time of pagers, but I never had a pager, and pretty sure it was because like the stigma that I had was I thought that only drug dealers.
Yep.
Maybe that's just what my parents told me.
Or business people.
Only drug dealers have
Beep, beep, beep.
pagers and Jinkos.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, guess I'm going to be a drug dealer.
I wanted to be.
Didn't you get my page? I couldn't get a hold of my pager in my giant Jinko pockets.
Yeah, I had to reach too far down. I was on my bike, and then my pants got caught in the chain.
Because I took my guard off because I wanted to be cool.
Oh, dude. Okay, I think some of those people wore their Jinkos way too. Like I think they were designed to like go around your shoe, but they would drag on the ground, and then like half of the back of their pants would be gone.
Yeah.
So it was just like the front part of their jeans laying over the shoe, and then it looked so gross and dumb.
Yeah, they had like the little stringies coming out the bottom of them and stuff.
Yeah, but like several inches from the bottom would just be missing in the
Oh,
back.
yeah, yeah.
And then it would be like still sagged down to the bottom of their shoe and just look floppy and gross. Like
That was a look back then.
it was. I can't
Put
imagine.
in the miles in your struggle.
Dude, I actually had to put like rubber bands around the bottom of my jeans to ride my,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that.
so it didn't get caught in the chain.
Yeah, I think that's like why I used to carry a bandana all the time, and it came from that because I had wide-ish pants, and I'd use the bandana to tie up the pant leg.
Yeah, I wasn't as cool as that. I didn't think of the bandana. I would have been cool
That
if I did
explains the
that.
bandana.
Yeah,
That's so hard.
yeah. It came from because I used to ride BMX bikes
Streets, Annie.
all the time.
Streets.
Yeah, can't take the streets.
Can't take me on the streets.
Streets. Dude, let's talk about BMX bikes for a second because I always wanted a GT show
Oh yeah,
I'm just going to eat my chips while you get
or
stuck.
GT Performer.
yeah. I was gonna say I remember the Performer. I remember.
I had
Dang it, Brandon, quit it.
how them kettle chips. Dude, I wanted GT mags so bad.
Dude, those like 3-spoke mags.
Not the round ones though, but the flat, like the hard to find flat GT mags.
Yeah, I've looked on eBay before for like project bikes that I was kind of making myself, and you can still find some of those old GT mags out
Are
there.
they white or black?
I think they're black.
Yeah, I wanted black one. I was kind of, I was into building BMX bikes. Like I had a subscription to Dan's Competition.
Oh
Or
yeah,
it was catalog,
Dan's Comp.
really. Dan's Comp was awesome. I ordered shoes and spending all of my allowance.
You know what's funny? It just made me think of was that you said magazine subscription. That's something that's pretty much gone.
Yeah, I agree. You can't hardly get any good magazines. It's mostly like fashion stuff that's still successful and popular.
Yeah, I remember because I was like hard into BMX, so I remember I had 2 or 3 a month that were coming. That was always like the best when you'd open up the mailbox and there's your fresh BMX magazine. I was super stoked all the time.
I agree. Yeah.
Dude, I remember even the kids who had, everybody kind of, there's a lot of BMX bikes out there, but then if you saw somebody that had a real one with some pegs on it,
Yeah.
that was like the bee's knees.
For sure. Yeah, and pegs were different back then than they are now. Like most pegs now, you can actually thread on and you leave the bolt, and then they're lame.
Yeah.
Like you had to actually put the bolt or the nut inside the peg.
Right. And that's how
Yeah.
real ones are now on like a
Yeah.
real bike, but the
For sure.
Walmart bikes, they're just thread-on things.
Totally. Yeah, stupid.
Remember people trying to catch a ride on the back or front of somebody's bike?
Hey, at one point in time, Mongoose was a good brand of BMX bike.
Yeah, before Walmart and Toys
Yeah.
R Us.
Sellouts, dude.
Yeah,
They're such sellout. So
They-
did Massimo's at Target now.
yeah. I
Dang
think
it, Massimo.
I think Target bought Massimo, but I mean, still.
Do they still make cool stuff, though?
I don't know.
I'm going to bring it back.
I'm for it.
I'm going to wear a fanny pack at the same time, too.
And a hemp necklace and some Jinkos.
Yeah, bring it on. I'll just bring back the 90s.
Some
I'm going to wear Discman. Get rid of my phone.
Do you remember?
Abercrombie cologne. I'm going to get all lightheaded on that stuff.
Do you remember Sony's failed mini disc player from the 90s.
Yeah, like miniature CDs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That was
that
weird.
failed.
Totally failed.
Because it like came out at the same time that MP3s did. Wasn't going to compete.
No. It was like the Blu-ray versus HD DVD thing.
Yep.
Yeah. Only like it was MP3 digital music versus miniature, SpongeBob CDs.
Something you still have to carry around a whole bunch of them, or
Yeah.
you have all of them on.
Sure. Yeah, everything got, Can you imagine if that did catch on and you had like, the little visor things in your car where you kept your CDs and they were like little
But
tiny
instead of
discs?
having like one row CDs, it had like 3 rows of tiny little CDs.
Yeah.
You could have like 60 CDs on your visor, man.
Yeah. I mean, some people still did, and it was very dangerous because you had like 40 pounds of CDs hanging over.
You hit a bump and all of a sudden there's a visor in your face and CDs are like flying out the window. No!
Yeah. I mean, people now get in wrecks because they text and drive, but in the 90s, they got in wrecks because they were changing a CD.
Yeah.
Can't see the road, using 2 hands, trying to keep your other ones from not falling.
It wasn't Snapchatting your private areas to people. It was
No.
changing CDs.
In all seriousness, my wife still has a giant CD book in the back of her car.
Yeah.
And
I have, a big CD book in the garage. I mean, I still drive cars from the 90s. They got CD players and tape decks.
Mine has none of that.
tape deck.
Yeah. Dude, cars in the 90s? We didn't even talk about cars. What's wrong with us?
3 car guys and we haven't even mentioned cars.
Maybe we just talk about cars so much that we were just tired of
Nah.
It's real, though. 90s did make the best cars.
They genuinely did, especially in Japan.
Yeah.
Dude, all the Japanese cars from the 90s are way better than America.
Oh, yeah. And
All
they,
American muscle sucked.
like, the Japanese still make great cars, but they don't make cars like the 90s still.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, like look at all the Hondas still out there driving, like, and Toyotas.
Yeah, but I mean, even when you refer to American cars, like, there isn't a better Mustang than the Fox Mustang still. I
Mhm.
mean, like, if you want to just look at Mustangs, I think Fox Mustang.
Yeah, and that was ended
90s.
in 93.
Yeah.
Yeah.
88, no, 80,
5?
83, 82. 82 was the 4i Foxes.
Do I
but
hear 81?
the good
Do I
ones.
hear 81?
87 to, like, 90.
I don't know much about American cars, but didn't like the Corvette have like a big falling off because they tried to make it so like economical, but also a Corvette that it sucked and not many people wanted it.
Yeah, the 90s Corvette it really was.
They still had flip-up headlights, though.
Yeah.
Because the C5 was...
They're almost becoming cool again, like the 90s Corvettes.
It's almost becoming a budget car.
Yeah, that's really crazy
That's-
to think about.
That's super crazy.
Yeah.
Like because when did C5 start? Wasn't that late, like 97 or something?
Yeah. It's almost like kids that are turning 16 now could probably get their first car, late 90s Corvette. And that's just crazy.
That's weird.
LS, 6-speed, rear-wheel drive, on its nuts.
450 horsepower.
Yeah, no big deal.
Yeah. Nope. That's crazy.
Oh, the idea of a 16-year-old behind that is absolutely terrifying.
I know, right?
As long as it's not like Billings.
What was your first car, Nate?
A 1990
See?
Buick Skylark.
Well, okay. You lost me there.
I bought it from my neighbor for $900,
90s Buicks were awesome.
and I drove the piss out of it.
Is that a boat?
No, the Skylark was smaller. It was still 4 doors.
It was
Did
like
it still feel like a couch roll?
Actually,
like
maybe
a
it was
Civic.
2 doors. It did have like the plush feeling velvety seats,
Yes.
and the ARK was busted off the badge, so all my friends referred to it as the Skyle.
The Skyle.
Yeah, I remember
Nice.
driving back from a punk show with way too many people in the car. There must have been like 5 people in the back seat and 3 people on the front seat.
Oh, yeah.
And like I couldn't keep the windows from fogging up. It was that time of the year. It's cold out and stuff. And
Sure.
not smart. That's all I gotta say.
Oh, man.
Defroster couldn't keep up. And it was mostly guesswork.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, our friend Dan had that big blue Buick. Do you remember?
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
And on the back, it was from Sillover Buick, which is a Billings dealership. It's now Under Reiner
Right.
Buick. And but the SE was broke off, so we called it the Lover Buick. It was a giant blue wagon. It was like the perfect name for that thing.
I remember that was the one where like the tailgate thing would fold down, and then you could shut it and then open it sideways, right?
Yes, and the very back seat faced rearwards.
Yeah. Dan took me somewhere in that car, and just me and him, and I rode in that back seat just so I could face the other direction. And then he showed me how the door opens two different directions, and I just like shut, open, just like kept opening it both different ways. I was so mind blown.
Yeah, that is awesome. And he probably was just angry that you wanted to sit back there. Oh God! I already get 3 miles a gallon. Now I'm your chauffeur.
Home, James. Where's my champagne?
What was your first car?
My first car, that was my car was a 1960. But the car I actually had in my freshman year, I drove 1997 Aerostar van.
Nice.
Dang.
Yeah, that. My mom just got a newer version of that, and I drove that. They sold it about 6 months later. But yes, we also fit way too many people in that van. Going to McDonald's down the high school, you got like 10 people, 7 passengers.
I mean, if parents
want
to do something smart for their kids, keep them out of trouble, don't give them a big vehicle to fit a lot of them.
Yeah,
Well, you didn't have
my
a
parents
big
only
vehicle when
knew.
you fit a lot of people in yours.
Yeah.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
Imagine how many more people I would have fit back from that show if it was a van.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see parents going like, well, he's going to fit a bunch of people in it anyway. Let's just get him a 15-passenger van. But then they don't realize that you're going to fit 25 people in that 15-passenger van. You're taking your whole class out to lunch.
Yeah. You would be the transportation at lunchtime.
For reals.
Yeah.
I mean, 90s cars are so good, I still daily drive 95 Civic.
Yep.
I imported a 91 Toyota.
See?
Yep. I drive a 91 Accord my daily.
I just bought a 98 Subaru.
I have a 97 CRV.
I've often said I could have a warehouse and just fill it with like 90 Japanese cars, and they don't not even like the cool ones, like Civics and Toyotas and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
I would be happy.
Laurels.
Those are cool though.
Super, super cool.
And they come from Japan.
Dude, I really want one. Ever since I saw that one and almost bought it, and there's no center pillar between the front and back window.
Oh yes.
Dude.
So
like
sick.
how much more awesome could you be?
That's a really cool design.
Yeah.
Like engineering and everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's awesome.
Yeah, like how sturdy the roof has to be to not have that pillar there and everything.
Oh yeah.
Dude.
Very cool.
Yeah.
What was your first car, Brandon?
1991 Ford Explorer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't haul a lot of people around, but most of the time there's a mattress in back, because that's about the time that the drive-in movie theater out in Laurel opened.
Nice.
So we'd always take my vehicle, had a decent system in it.
For sure.
And we had a twin-size mattress. So at lunchtime, me, Brett, and Brian, we'd go drive around or just after school or something.
Yeah.
Me and Brett always got front seat and shotgun.
Yes, of course.
And Brian was just rolling around in the back. I'm surprised he didn't kick out my back windows, jumping it and, just weaving, slaloming through the streets of Laurel and everything.
I can just see Brian, if he listens to this podcast, just like listening to that and shaking his head. Mad about it all over again.
I have no idea why I was friends with you guys for so long.
He loved it. He had a blast back there.
Actually, it does sound fun. Just flying around on this mattress.
That was actually the first vehicle, or the vehicle that I got in my first accident.
Yeah? Was Brian in the back during that?
No, it was before I met Brett and Brian. That's
Oh.
when I was still here in Billings, my freshman year. I was taking my girlfriend at the time home, and I was way far away from her house, turning on the wrong side of the street. And it had snowed, but the driving was clear, but all the edges were all icy and crappy. So
Sweet.
took the corner too fast and slid into some stupid Honda Civic.
Freaking
$1,500 later, I had to replace the guy's entire door or some bullcrap. Yeah, so
Civics aren't even worth $15.
that's what I told my parents. I'm like, how am I paying $1,500 for this dude's car? Thing's only worth like $1.
Yeah, seriously. Dude, we only went through half the list of this 90s stuff.
We have anything?
I mean, we didn't talk about testable batteries.
Oh man, squeezing the
Surge.
dots.
Sounds
Surge.
like another podcast.
So, yeah. I mean, Michael
90s
Jordan.
Part 2.
Space Jam. We didn't talk any stuff.
A video podcast for part 2.
Yeah, maybe we should. We'll just get going on video podcasting with the 90s. And then we could wear some, 1990s stuff.
Oh, my gosh. Let's, hit up Goodwill and find us some Fila and some Tommy Hilfiger.
Yeah. Go down to Goodwill and just dress up like the 90s. If they got Jinko jeans, I'm buying them anyway.
I mean, that's a fact.
Yeah, dude. Yes.
Yeah, I'm all for it.
All right. Well, thanks for listening again to the I Wish I Knew Stuff podcast with Nalo, Nate, Brandon, and Kettle Chips. And we're signing off. I've never said that before. That's not what
it's like a new thing. Where's Brandon's? I'm going to mute him. Where is it?
Where are you?
Can't stop this.
Yeah, thanks for listening. And usually Mark makes a stupid sound. You guys take over.
Give it to me, baby.
That'll work.